All right, ladies and gentlemen, fellow coders, welcome to this next lesson in our series where we are building a real-world web app from scratch, leveraging React on the front end, Spring Boot via Java in the back end, and tying it all together with a MySQL relational database. In this lesson, we're going to be diving into a really promising library that I just found out about today that works with dates called Day.js. If you have ever worked with dates and times before in JavaScript, you've probably used the moment library, the moment.js library. It's a great library. The only downside is it's a bit bulky, it's a bit bloated, it's a bit big. And the Day.js promises to be a tiny little version of moment.js while leveraging pretty much the same API. In other words, if you can use Moment, you can use Day.js. So if that sounds like it is of interest to you, stick around. Alrighty, so let's dive into a bit of background now. So as I mentioned before, if you've ever worked with dates and times in pretty much any language, it's always a bit of a nightmare. And for the JavaScript language, moment.js has been around for, I don't know, 8+ years at this point. And it is a very reliable and tried and tested and true library. It's great, but like I mentioned in the beginning, the problem with Moment is that it's a bit large. If you only need to use one piece of the Moment API, like you just want to use one of the functionality out of the thousands of different methods that they have available to us or whatever, you still have to import the entire thing, right? So it gets a bit bulky. So the solution is something like Day.js, which provides an API that's very, very similar, if not exactly like Moment. So if you know how to use Moment, you can use Day.js, and the benefit here is that it's a lot more modular, therefore it's a lot smaller for your app. So in other words, your app doesn't have to slow down. So for our use case right now in the application that we're building, we are building an app that allows people to submit assignments, right, for code review, because I run a coding boot camp, so I have students that I'm building this app for. The students need to be able to submit their assignments and get their code reviewed because they're programmers. And oftentimes with the code reviews, there needs to be commenting back and forth between the student and the code reviewer. Right, the code reviewer might have a question, the student has to answer it, back and forth, back and forth. So we have this commenting functionality that we built in, but I wanted to sort of mimic the same functionality that like Facebook has for comments, just to use that as a gold standard. And below the comments in Facebook, there's always the time since this comment was posted. So it'll say, posted 15 minutes ago, or 3 days ago, or 15 years ago, or whatever. And that was cool. I like that. But to code that myself would be a nightmare. So this is what I want to get access to is something called relative time inside of the Day.js library. So specifically, we want to get access to the time from X functionality. In other words, like, hey, Johnny posted this comment 3 minutes ago, 3 minutes from now, time from X. That's the sort of situation that we are working with. So I haven't tried this yet. I haven't installed it. I haven't done anything. You are going to get the raw, experience from what I'm doing right now. So let's dive into it. So if you go to day.js.org is their URL, I guess. If you go to their GitHub page, I'll sort of middle click on it to open it in a new tab. They have instructions on how to install it. It's a real simple npm install. So I'm going to go to my terminal here and Control-C and terminate the batch job, paste in my npm install, and then this will install the Day.js library across sort of all of my stuff. We'll see how, hopefully this doesn't take very long. But while that's installing, let's flip back to their, documentation. We'll click on the get started. You see this? It's 2 kilobytes in size. That's awesome. 2 kilobytes is tiny. So we will click on their installation. I don't need installation. I wanted to go, let me make this a little bit bigger so that we don't have the mobile version of it. There we go. I wanted to go to the, I think it was plugins, and it was called relative time here. So relative time, this gives you an example of the, time from X, right? Or from now. So it's just a dot from now. And that's sort of what we pass in, right? So this is some examples of how to do what we need to do. So we just require it. Oh, well, is this going to be? Well, this is Node Node documentation. I guess there's no way to switch this to like JavaScript example, is there? I guess we'll have to play with that and see, because it's really in display time from X or time from now, right? And it says this is dependent on relative time plugin to work. So you can say Day.js extend relative time, and then you can say from now. Okay, so this is yeah, we'll have to see how this works. So let us try this out, and this is specifically in the comments area. So the comment index.js we have right here. This is a comment, and if we go to our UI, this is what a comment looks like. You know, this is a comment, and then we can post the comment. Oops, is my server running? It is. Post. Oops, did I break something? Oh, no. Oh, the server's not running. Right, npm start. Right, so we installed, from the npm, we installed the Day.js, but I forgot to start the server back up. So that's why it wasn't responding when I was clicking on the button. So it starts it up, and we'll wait for that to boot up. But this is the comment code itself. And we'll have the comment bubble. And basically what we want to have is something just outside of or just below the comment bubble. So to do that, we're going to have to put another div below the comment bubble, and that's going to break React. If I put another div here, everything gets underlined in red because it says, hey, the parent for JSX expressions, the parent must just be one element, right? It must have one parent element. And right now we have two parent elements, one div here and another div right here that we created. So to solve this, we use a fragment, which is just this guy, an empty open close brackets. That's called a fragment. So that solves that problem. And now let's go to / dashboard, not dashboard. Cool. So, oh, we're logged in as a student right now. Is that true? I guess so. So let's go to assignment, I don't know, 3. Let's post a test comment. There it is. Okay. So below our comment bubble, we want to be able to have something here, right? Time from X should show up somewhere in here, right? So now we can sort of start to modify the look of this. So let's make this a little bit more negative margin. So we'll have margin top to be something like negative, I don't know, 1em. That might be too much. Okay, that's good. And then we'll sort of give it some margin left to move it over a bit. We'll say, I don't know, 2em. Okay, something, you know, that could work. Let's do negative 0.9 to move it down just a tad. And then I wouldn't mind changing the font size to be a little bit less large, right? We don't want this to be too large. We'll try 10 pixels is too small, 12 pixels, you know, maybe 14, 12, I don't know. We'll play with it. And then we can play with margin, or not this margin, I guess margin left. Maybe 1.5 instead of, like, maybe I want to try to line it up with, you know, the comment itself. 3, 4, this is, yeah, sure. So time from X can say, like, you know, posted 3 minutes ago, or it can just say like 3 minutes ago, right? Something like that. And then maybe I do want the margin to be a bit, and I'm just playing around here, right? Maybe a bit closer to 5. Sure, maybe that. So you get the idea, right? You get the concept of what we're going for. So, but we can't hard code 3 minutes ago. We need to actually plug in something here that leverages the time library, right? So let's see what we can do here. So Day.js, we need to import it. So how do we, and this is Day.js. So if I just say Day.js, right? Can I just click on it? Okay, so that's the uppercase Day.js. I don't know if I wanted that one. Day.js, lowercase. Okay, so I think that's the one I want. So we'll import Day.js from Day.js. Cool. And then we'll say, I don't know, a date from now. So let's just put in the date that we have from here, right? We could say created date, right, from now. And let's just take that and assign it to a variable called, I don't know, comment time or something. I don't know. That's a terrible name, but we'll plug that in here, right? So instead of 3 minutes ago, we'll say comment time. And oh, I'm in the wrong spot. So this broke probably because it's depending on something else, right? It says Day.js webpack whatever imported from now is not a function, right? So it can't do that because it needs more information, right? So let me go back to this one, and let me go back here and go to like assignment 3 so we can be in the same spot. So we need to bring in the relative time plugin, right? This is dependent on that to work. Now, can I just say Day.js.extend relative time? Maybe. So if I say Day.js.extend relative time, does it know what relative time is? So I can say relative time. No, can I say relative? Relative. Shoot. Okay. So how do you do that? Let's go here and let's see if we can import it like as a plugin or something. I don't know how to do this. Let me go to my node modules and we'll go down to Day.js and see. I mean, I can also just Google this. I mean, if I want to do this the easy way, there's plugins. So yeah, it looks like it's from, so I can say import something. We'll call it relative time from Day.js / plugin / relative time. Right? Let's just give that a shot and see if it worked or works. We'll plug in relative time there. Okay, I don't see any errors there. Let me clear this screen and refresh. 5 minutes ago. Okay. Holy cow. Did that work? I think that just worked. Let me refresh the screen. 5 minutes ago. So if we post another one, test 2, a few seconds ago. Wow. That's it. I was really anticipating this being a lot more difficult. Okay, I'm quite surprised. Okay, so we can say, posted 6 minutes ago, a few seconds ago, right? And then if we go back to, I don't know, this assignment, ooh, look at this, posted not a number of years ago. So why is that? Interesting. So this is one of our first comments. Sorry for the white screen now. Created date is null. Okay, so that makes sense. That's why that's... So we'll have to put in a stipulation there to say, hey, if for some reason, the comment time is, not here. So we'll have to say, not comment time. So we'll have to say, if created date, then we can assign this, right? Now the comment time, we might have to store state here. So we'll do comment time. How can we actually handle this situation? If created date. Yeah, sorry, that's exactly the same problem. So let me do a const comment time. Again, what's a better comment posted or comment relative time? Sure. Set comment relative time equals use state. And we'll start it as, we'll start the state as just empty. That's what we can do. And then we can say set comment relative time to be this. There we go. Cool. And then comment relative time, we can plug in down here and say, you know, comment relative time, question mark. So if that exists, or I guess it doesn't matter because it could be, so comment relative time could be just an empty string. So what we can do is we can say question mark here and say posted and then comment relative time, right? Otherwise, just have a blank. There. Cool. So see what I did there? So comment relative time will be initialized as empty state, just an empty string. We only extend all this stuff and whatnot if we actually have a created date that's valid, that's in there. And then we set the comment relative time value here. And then this down here has the div that will only show posted and then the comment relative time if it exists. If it doesn't exist, we just have an empty string there, which means you don't see anything down below the comment, right? If I go back and then go to assignment 3, though, it breaks. Great. Too many re-renders. Okay. So I guess I need to do this on load is probably the problem. So just once on load, if we have a created date, then we should assign it. Maybe that'll, yeah, okay. There, posted 10 minutes ago, posted 4 minutes ago. So I guess what happened was it was every time it set the relative time, it would re-render the screen, and when it re-rendered the screen, it would reset the comment relative time, and I guess this creates a new object, and when it creates a new object, it needs to re-render the screen, and it re-renders, it keeps setting it and setting it and setting it, right? So, yeah, that's why that was happening. And if we want to be fancy about this, what we can do is we can export this guy to a function. Yeah, we can export this to a function. But then can we call it? Yeah, we can do a function called, you know, set comment, or not, you know, update comment relative time, right? We could paste that in there. And then inside of our use effect on load, we can say update comment relative time and call that. So then it should work. And then what we could do is we could actually also be fancy and have a set interval. Hold on, set interval like this. And the interval can be every 60 seconds. So 1,000 times 60, that's every 60 seconds. And then every 60 seconds, maybe we'll say 60, how do you do 61 seconds? Is that 60, or is this 61 seconds? 1,000 milliseconds is 1 second. Oh, so I do with that, sorry, times 61. Duh. Okay, so every 61 seconds, what we can do is we can set the interval to say, hey, update the relative time. Right? So now what will happen is, as the minutes tick by, these, you know, posted X number of minutes ago comments will update. Right? Because if we stay on the screen for long enough, it'll update those to say, you know, 13 minutes ago and 7 minutes ago. So, you know, cool. So that's it. That's, you know, we'll see if that code works. I'll just sort of let it, you know, sit on my screen for a while, and or maybe I'll pause the video and we'll see if that works. So hold on, I'll pause the video. All right, there you go. I just answered an email, and now there you go. A minute has passed by, and it automatically updated. Now it says 13 minutes and 7 minutes ago. So it looks dynamic. It looks cool. So that's great. I am very happy with that. So I think for this one, if you've enjoyed it, you can go ahead and above my face here, there should be a little circle icon where you can click on to subscribe to the channel, so you can get notified when more of these episodes go live. And go ahead and click the thumbs up if you're still watching this and you're not being forced to watch it. That probably means you like this video, and I would love it if you could like the video, because that's what helps us get seen by more people. Everyone always comments, you know, how come your channel is so small? Well, it's because I'm terrible at asking people to subscribe and terrible at asking people to like. So that's why I'm doing it now. I'm listening to the people and trying to be more of a marketer and less of just a coder and a teacher. So if you want to bow down to the marketing master that is me, please do click the like button so I can get this stuff out to more people. So Cool. Thanks very much for stopping by. As always, take care of yourself. Happy learning, and bye for now.